And welcome back to Meeting of the Minds. Today I'm here with our special guest, Matthew Farrell, the Blair Academy soccer coach. Thank you for joining us.
No problem. Anytime.
Absolutely, yeah. So tell me, what are your athletes doing now to train and to get better during this crazy time?
We have a lot of kids from a lot of different places in the world. Obviously, at a boarding school like ours, we attract a number of different athletes from pretty much every continent. So we've been trying to figure out ways to just keep everyone active, keep everyone, staying fit, staying healthy, focusing on whatever date we can possibly kind of predict that we're going to be back and together and doing things. So we've put together certain fitness plans for the kids to be doing on their own. We've put together different Zoom meetings like this where we all try and get on. It's kind of difficult because there's a number of different times that the kids are kind of living at because they're all over the world. But yeah, we've been doing our best to get as much information out to them and try and keep them active and keep them moving the ball.
Yeah. Have they been checking in with you and telling you what they've been doing?
Yeah, I mean, we've been kind of trying to do something, at least once a week. The soccer at Blair is a little bit different to every other sport because it's how could I say? We have a club side to it as well. So the guys that will come in and play soccer for the school are also encouraged to participate in the off season with the club that we have. The club is obviously very active.
Yeah. And what are some of your coaching philosophies or team principles that you try to get across to the student athletes?
Personal coaching philosophy, it's evolved. It consistently evolves. It's the older I get, the more time I get to spend on, thinking about the game and thinking about how to coach the game better. For me, it's improved. Within the soccer world, there's a lot of different, let's say, experts that come to fruition at different times throughout, different styles of play, different ways of coaching, different types of strategies, let's say. And the one thing that I've learned is that any strategy or any philosophy can help you win games and can help you develop kids. So for me, it's that word, yeah. It's provide the kids the knowledge to be able to perform and develop their own attributes, to hopefully, become better and start being more successful in their own game. So that's my philosophy. The school, again, we've got a style of play that we like. We have some amazing facilities at Blair, and some of the best grass fields that I've ever seen. And I've seen a lot of grass fields all over the country, all over the world. And so we like to keep the ball on the floor. So, the philosophy at Blair is that technical side of it, to be technically good, and keep on developing that with the idea of we're going to keep the ball on the floor, move it around, use a lot of the players within the team, and basically move the ball up the field and towards the goal by our technical ability as well as our athletic ability.
Yeah. And I would think it's a big challenge as a student athlete at Blair Academy because it's so competitive. And I mean, the level is so high for sports and for school. How do they deal with it? What are some of the things that they learn when they come to Blair?
You know what? Like, I want to say the recruitment process that the admissions do is excellent. There's 4 things that usually, when I'm looking at kids to bring them in, there's 4 areas that we look at. One of them is obviously, the ability to pay something towards the tuition. Another one is how smart they are, how they're going to come in and be able to deal with these types of pressures regarding academic. Obviously, they have to be some kind of athlete, and be able to play the sport that we're trying to recruit them for. And then the fourth one, which for me is probably the most important, they have to fit in, and fitting into that school is, it's, I wouldn't say it's a hard task, but you've got to be a driven individual. And everyone that I've brought in on the soccer side of things that has succeeded at Blair has got that drive in them. And I feel as though they do a good job of recruiting them types of kids throughout, not just for the sports, but throughout. You know, and again, we have a wide pool. You know, it is literally every single continent, and there is a number of people from them continents that are coming in and being part of the school. But it really is an amazing place. I was, let's say, I was skeptical about boarding schools before I took the job, and now I've got 3 young boys, and I will at a heartbeat put every one of them in that school.
That's great. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. What are some of the things that makes Blair unique? Because I know there are so many things, and maybe a lot of athletes, they hesitate about maybe boarding school. What would be some of the benefits that you'd want to share with them?
Well, obviously on the education side, you've got a pretty much 24-hour support network of teachers. You know, we have that for me is key. I wouldn't say that the teachers are on the kids. I just say they are by them, and they are there to help at any moment. You know, and it really is. You know, you come into Blair as a boarding school, and the teachers are part of your bigger family, and it really does feel like that. You know, the facilities and what everything else that the school is able to upgrade, because there's upgrades every single time I go. You know, I'm obviously the soccer coach, and I'm not a teacher there. I'm the soccer coach and the soccer coach only, so I'm only there at a certain part of the year, and then sporadically throughout the rest of the year. But every time we go, there's a new science lab. There's a new kind of building going up for new dorms. So they're continually always looking to develop the place. And then finally, on the soccer part of things, for any soccer player that's looking to come in, we offer the whole package, in my opinion. You know, right. A lot of these schools the kids will be able to come in and board. They'll only be getting soccer for maybe 3 months a year, and then have to kind of make their own plans for the rest of the year if they're a serious soccer player. Whereas we offer, obviously the Blair season itself, but then we also offer outside club, which are playing in the highest leagues within the United States. So in terms of levels, you know, there's a level there for you. I have an agreement with the school that we can get the kids to practice twice a week, and they can play on games as long as it doesn't interfere with any of the schooling. And then, you know, pushing on from that, we have the idea for a lot of my soccer players is obviously to push on to the next level, whether that be college, whether that be some kind of professional in a game. And, you know, the school has a lot of great college connects and a lot of great schools that are interested in our players, because we know what the standard that we bring. One of the biggest things that I always remember a player going on, we had a player called Enzo Okpay. He went on to, and he's still at Yale right now. He's playing for Yale's soccer team. Great player. But the words that I remember him telling me was, when I asked him how the school was going, because I understand, you know, Yale, and I imagined it to be a very hectic schedule in terms of academic. And he was like, you know, it's water off a duck's back, because Blair basically prepared me for me to go in. Nothing's changed a lot. You know, some of the topics might be more advanced, but the schedule, I'm used to it.
I've heard that before from people who've gone to college preparatory schools, saying that even Ivy League schools are kind of a breeze because their high school experience has prepared them for that, which is crazy to think about.
Yeah, like, you know, you think about you talk about standards. Yeah. You know, that for me is why Blair is Blair, and why you know, I hold it in the highest esteem.
Absolutely. Now talk about your competing days. I saw you're a semi-pro player in the UK. What was your mindset like when you competed? How did you bring out your best? How did you build? How did your confidence grow? Ability to relax under pressure, focusing on the right things, being mentally tough. What were some of the things that you used in your career that you did yourself?
Look, I was aggressive. I was always aggressive. I was a defender. I like to play in the sense that I wasn't the biggest, but I had a great. I had some good attributes. Yeah, I could run pretty quick. I could jump pretty high. I could tackle hard. I read the game well. Um, for me, the best thing that always motivated me was just competition. It was going up against that forward. It was going up against that winger, and it was like you bring your best and I'll bring my best, and let's see what happens. It was again. I had different experiences. There was times when I never played a lot. There was times when I sat on the bench and watched other players play ahead of me, and it just kind of it drove me to try harder. It drove me to train harder. But what I'll always bring it back to is it's just the love of the game. Like I wanted to play soccer every day, every minute. Whenever I could kick a ball, I'd be kicking a ball. Whenever I'd be playing, and it didn't matter. I mean, just a story for you regarding like my kind of dedication to the sport. I was playing and getting paid for playing back home. I just played in a game. It was at Easter time. And the way it works in England is you'll always play on Good Friday and Easter Monday. So I had 2 games on them days. Easter Friday I played. We'd done well. We'd won. I had a good game. And the Saturday came. Obviously I was fatigued. I was, a lot of my friends were not at the level I was at, but were still playing. I goes to watch my friends. They were short a player. So straight away, put my boots on, went out, ended up breaking my leg in half. It was like that was the dedication that I brought to kind of playing, and that was in the end it was to my detriment, but that's just the way it was. Like you give me a ball, you give me a team, and I'll come and play, and I'll try my hardest. There was never a dial down. It was either all out or none.
That's great. Like you said, the aggressiveness and the love of the game. That's really important that athletes need to succeed. What are some of the common mental struggles that you see other athletes deal with, maybe going from middle school into high school, or even some of the highest level soccer players? What do you think they struggle with the most mentally?
I wouldn't say there's one particular area, but any sport can be cruel. Yeah, there's a lot of things that can happen, and I've been in that situation where I've fell out of love with the sport. For me, it's all about kind of stripping it back, remembering why you do the sport and why you love it and why you put all these hours in, and then going back out and maybe just making the game a little bit easier, little bit less complex. Don't put as much pressure on you. Set yourself smaller goals rather than big ones, and go out. I mean, one of the biggest things that I see about in youth sports, and I've had this with a few of my athletes, especially in certain positions, is we play with a lot of parents around, a lot of pressure on the kids going into the games. Some families feel as though it's the be all and end all, that the kid has to produce on that day every single time. And I've seen a lot of, for example, strikers. I know some big athletes that have had a mental problem with putting the ball in the back of the net. And it's just due to the fact that they don't want the pressure on them. They don't want the pressure of them running clear through, goalkeeper to beating and missing. And the best forward that I've played with or coached are the ones that look for the next opportunity. Doesn't matter how many they miss. Does not matter. You can give them 100 chances. They will score 1 goal, and they will talk about that 1 goal all day long. And that for me is sometimes the best attribute, or sometimes the best tool that player can have, especially if you're playing in a high pressure position. You need to be able to rather focus on what's going to happen rather than what's just happened.
Right. Do you find a lot of athletes are playing better in practice than in competition?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure. You get that all the time. I mean, but you'd also get the opposite way around. You'd also get kids that again, I've had a number of players I've played that have become big parts of the team just due to the game performance. Because if you watch them in the practices, you wouldn't even think about them, but they get an opportunity, go on the field, and maybe not necessarily have the same skills that the other players have in the starting 11, but bring something. They might bring an aggression, they might bring an energy, they might bring a positive communication on the field. I've definitely got a number of players that have been through the ranks. I've played that have definitely brought that. And again, you ask them to do, juggle the ball 10 times, they couldn't do it. It's that simple. It's just that they bring an energy or something different.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. What do you think it is that makes those players different, that they're able to turn it on, whereas maybe other players who might be equally as skilled, they don't turn it on? Any thoughts there?
I mean, I'd say experience, definitely, and not so much experience playing soccer, just experience in maybe high pressure situations. It might be the fact that these guys are just good at taking opportunities. And again, if for some of the guys that I'm talking about, they like myself, I had times where I'd rode the bench for weeks, and then you step onto the field and you're like, well, okay, I'm on the field now and I'm going to prove why they should never take me off ever again. And just the ability to rise to the situation, and again, maybe with the mindset of let's keep it simple. Let's make sure that you focus on the specifics of your position or role that you're good at first, and then grow into the game, and confidence rises and things start to happen for you.
Excellent. Yeah, you kind of started going into what I was going to ask you next, of how do you prepare them mentally to deal with the pressure, to relax, to be confident, what they should focus on, what they should not focus on?
Well, the preparation mentally for me goes into the training, right? If you're one of the things that again is part of my philosophy is what I feel a coach needs to do is not so much joystick or tell players the exact thing to do in the exact moments of the game. It's just to prepare them, prepare them for every possible scenario. Give them your experience on what you see coming, because obviously with a lot of these student athletes, you've been, you've obviously seen more than them. You've obviously played at better levels than them, and you can obviously relate to certain scenarios far more, with far more experience than they can. So, it's that prep off the field. It's that, team talk about tactics, prior to the game happening, what we see, what the video we've watched is all about. What happens if we go down one goal? What happens if we're up one goal? We'll practice all these situations within the season, and talk about different scenarios and different tactical adjustments that we'll make to suit the game. And again, the more that we have these kids, and the more that they're within the program and get used to the way we like to teach and we like to coach and we like to play, the more experience that they'll have, and then hopefully by the fourth year that they've been with us, they're a lot better player. You can deal with far more different scenarios on and off the field, and they're just a better all-round human.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Using soccer as that vehicle to build virtue and to succeed in the classrooms and life.
Oh, yeah, massive.
Where can we want to send more people to Blair Academy, to your way, to Blair Soccer? Where do we send them to? Websites, Instagram, Twitter? Where can we send them?
Yeah, I mean, obviously blair.edu is the website. Obviously everyone has to come on, fill an application out, and go on there. As soon as you fill the application out, you'll get an email from me. I'm just giving you a little bit more detail about myself and what the program's about. We do not active on social media, maybe during the season, not so much off the season. We do have a Twitter account, and I believe there was an Instagram account created for the program. But it's not as ready during the off seasons. It's the more of the information's coming in through the website, and then myself. It's I have a coaching account. It's at Coach Matt Farrell. Whatever, at Twitter. Please feel free to reach out. Please feel free to give me any type of email, any type of call. If you are in New Jersey, I've more than likely probably seen you play somewhere along the line. But yeah, they are very interested in recruiting and active. And again, we have, good thing about our team is that we have that many different flavors of soccer. We, like, right now we have an African, we've got a kid, a couple of kids from Spain, we've got a guy from the Ukraine, we've got guys from the Middle East, and they all bring something different, something that we can learn from, something that is unique to them. And even though it's a wide community and from different parts of the world, it's the love of the game and the experiences that we have on the field always tend to bring us together.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, Coach, for sharing all your insight. I really appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks for having me on, and I'll definitely be tuning in and watching any more that you guys settle.
Absolutely. All right, go Blair. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, man.
Take care.
Bye-bye.